BMX News, a weekly BMX news show where I talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. We do these live, so there is a whole bunch of people in the chat right now stoked to talk about BMX news and see what's going on. I want to shout out a few of them before we get into the news here. Dennis McNabb, Noah McBride, Huck Karinsky, Taco Slurpees, Ken Nichols, Travis Keir, JDA, Old Fat Guy BMX, Dennis Hornbeck, Drian, Adam Ortiz. Holy cow, there's a lot of people in here today. And we got to give a shout out to Huck Karinsky for the 99-cent super chat. So, my tinfoil hat is on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know any inside information whatsoever. Volume's low? That's weird. Here, we'll bump it up. Is the volume better now? Should be good now. Anyways, tinfoil hat is on. I don't know anything about Mark Burnett or who he's riding for or anything like that. Well, okay, I'm lying. I know one company he rides for. I don't know anything about GT here. But what I'm going to say is that when you look at this video from Source BMX, the distillery, and you pay attention here, he's got the dartboard going on. First thing we notice, Brian Kaczynski here in the background. Okay, granted, Brian Kaczynski helped design the place. Okay, maybe he's just there. Second thing we notice, we're sitting here. What's this? Ryan Fudger in the background. Why was Ryan Fudger at the distillery recently? And I bet if you look even closer, there might be some other people here who are suspect to GT. Now, I'm not saying that this has to mean anything, because Mark Burnett could have just been in town and just hung out with these guys, but it's not a giant jump to think that because Mark Burnett was there when the GT people were there, maybe it means that he's riding for GT. But he wasn't in the video. Well, maybe they were filming. I don't know. I don't know anything. I know no inside information. So if anybody out there gets mad at me, well, you're mad at me because I figured you out. And now someone made a good point. Does he wear a helmet enough for GT? He's not wearing a helmet in the video here. So, okay, maybe that's the thing. But DeMarcus Paul also didn't have to wear a helmet all the time either. What you do see, though, is that his frame is like totally rawed out. So you can't really tell unless you super tinfoil hat it. But I thought it would be fun to play like detective here and get the magnifying glass out and look deeper into this and just speculate, because I think it's people enjoy speculating, and it seems fairly harmless. Like I said, if anybody gets mad at me for this one, it's mad because I figured it out, or maybe because I was super wrong. But that being said, we got more sponsorship news this week. Straight from the title, Perris Benegas is now riding for Haro BMX. She left Colt recently, and it's interesting that this is a thing because Perris had the first ever signature BMX frame, like dedicated frame of a female BMX rider ever. Nina had a signature colorway, or has a signature colorway with T1, but Perris had her own frame, which she left on Colt to go and ride for Haro. Maybe she didn't leave for Haro, but now she's riding for Haro, which, being an Olympic athlete, being a professional that she is, it makes perfect sense. And also Nyquist, she's always hanging out with Nyquist, riding his ramp in North Carolina. So I feel like it just kind of makes sense. Nyquist was her coach. It can make sense where that one comes from. Moving on from there, Dan Crook now riding for Merit BMX. And this one's funny because of this picture right here. This was when I was in at Interbike in 2016, and they were hanging out. Met Montana Ricky there. He had hair, and now he's riding for Merit, which is pretty cool. Dan Crook shreds. He's definitely a professional BMX rider in that regard, so good for him. Next up, more sponsorship news. This is why it's like big sponsorship news week. There's so much. Dakota Bratt, someone who has definitely been putting in work for years and years and years, has been put on Kink's AM team. So rad. And if I'd have any, Jeff Mead. Today is the 5th year anniversary of meeting Jeff Mead, everybody. Just figured I'd throw that out there. But Dakota deserves this. And if I was to give any advice, shred, go hard, flip that switch on that makes you go ham like you always have. Keep it going. And then don't settle for just where you're at. Keep it going. Rep them for a few years. Do good stuff. And then move up to the pro team. Don't stagnate with it. Moving on from there. Mutant Bikes welcomes Tiago Tavares to their team with a quick welcome video. Travis Ram says, I rode with him a couple times out here in Colorado, and Dakota is such an awesome dude. Yeah, he seems rad. Montana Ricky did a rider spotlight on him a few years ago. More sponsorship news. There's so much this week. Jerry Blabble is now on pro for Sabrosa and Shadow, and he's welcomed with this welcome video. That's pretty good video. Definitely, if you're a fan of him, you will enjoy this one. There's so much going on in BMX this week. So many people being added to teams and things moving around. It's pretty freaking rad. Moving on, we got some videos from this week, and I do the videos in order of shortest to longest. So if you're looking for a longer video, they will be towards the end, and there's really not anything that's super long this week in form of riding stuff. So Linda Grabner is a shredder, and here's a video from her, from We the People. Doing lots of good stuff in here. Street tuck no handers, cans, feeble hard 180s, all kinds of good stuff in here. Let's see if we can just pull up a taste of it since we have that ability. Front flip off of a trampoline. Let's see. Regular and opposite feeble grinds were a thing on a round rail. There was one clip in here. This one, feeble to backlash. Pretty sick. Moving on from there. Next video this week is with Josh Dovey at Alexandra Headland Skate Park in Australia from Lux BMX. This kid, if you heard the name and you found out that and you know his name and you found out that there's a video from him, you're probably not even watching this anymore because you're probably over there to watch this one. Dovey is amazing, and he can do it all. He can literally just seemingly do anything he wants to on a bike. I mean, look at that tire slide. It's just style. But he can also do like the flares and Dragon Slayer manuals and all kinds of good stuff. Pocket airs. Dovey just rules, honestly. Rides for Fly now. Killing it. What's this trick? Let's show this trick. Look at this. Bar is a double bar. Bar to bar transfer. Like, he can do it all. Giant one-footed tables. So sick. We got a jam video, the OCB Curbside Jam 2020 out from Ride UK BMX. Josh Dove translates to rocket ship in Australian. True. Then we got a video from Stress BMX with Igor, that last name. And it's a VX edit. This dude's got a cool style. Pretty creative, pretty jibby, pretty fun to watch, honestly. And the song. The song is good, too. Yeah, it's a good song. Moving on from here, we got a Haro video with Mike Gray called Homebound. And it's kind of like along similar lines of the previous video, but with a different tricks and different obstacles and things where like they can get super technical and grind combos and all of that stuff. And then done goofed. How do we done goof, Noah? Let me know. And also go big too. Mike Gray goes huge. The last clip is a gap to manual off a roof. Wild. Moving on from there, Colt's Pat Frayne 2022 video. He moved from Australia to California apparently and made this video. So watch this one too. Dude goes burly, dude's got tech. It's a good video. Colt always brings the heat, honestly. Moving on from there, there's so many. S&M just released a video Crone plus Crumb. Length is 309. Well, we might just have to pull that up at the end. Talking about race bikes. Okay, I thought I'd done goofed. Anyways, Demolition Parts Team BBQ barbecue session at Dennis Enderson's house. All of the team, Jason Watts, Kevin Peraza, Dennis Enderson, obviously, Parker Heath, Mike Hucker Clark, Chris Fox, Matt Cordova. There's actually sponsorship news about Mike Hucker Clark. I don't know if it's like announced or public or anything, but he doesn't have Red Bull in his profile on Instagram anymore, and he is wearing a black helmet in this video. So I don't know. I don't know if it means anything or not, but it is what it is. What I'm stoked about in here is that Dennis Enderson has brakes on and does a Fufanu right here. Look at that. I clicked right on it. I'm a pro. It's what I do. Look at this. Alley-oop pocket air, gap to foof. Dennis Enderson's got brakes on. Put brakes on your bike so you can be before the masses, because it's coming. You never goof, my guy. 100% accuracy rate like the Jason Bourne of BMX news out here. I guess I need to watch the Jason Bourne movies. The Bourne Ultimatum. I never watched any of those, but apparently I need to. Next, we got a Courage Adams video in Johannesburg. Where is that from? Johannesburg is in... It doesn't say. South Africa? South Africa. Courage Adams kills it. You know you're going to want to watch this video, so I don't even need to talk about it more. But next, we got Brock Rayford's next most recent video. I don't know why I said it that way. From Odyssey, though. Brock Rayford, strike. Brock? Okay, I'm going to say a controversial opinion here. Brock Rayford is the most professional dude in BMX. People say it's Dakota Roche, and I would agree. But I think Brock Rayford is right there, if not above. Brock does the Instagram thing. He does the video thing. He also competes in a lot of contests, makes video parts. Brock Rayford is definitely up there. And he's super, super nice. The first 3 Bourne movies are amazing. Brant's BMX News movie reviews with Bourne Ultimatum. Watch it. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Anyways, if you don't have a coaster brake, then you lying. That's funny. So, moving on from there, we've got a video from one of my favorite people, Davey Osgood, work BMX video called Winter Escape. And Davey is amazing. This dude absolutely kills it. He's got like magical powers and can do anything he wants to on a bike. He just recently put brakes on too, and it's so rad. I love riding with him. He's such a nice dude too. Absolutely deserves all the love that he gets. I mean, he can put out videos every month and they'd be really good because he's amazing. Anyways, now let's move on to talking about the not Toyota. I don't know if it's Toyota or not, but the Triple Challenge. The finals highlights are up on the Our BMX YouTube channel. They also had like all of the qualifying videos too as separate videos, but this is the video from it with all of the finals highlights. So if you want to see what went down, check that out. This guy slaps. Met him at Ray's, and I love him. He's talking about Davey Osgood. Then we've got the best trick video, which I don't know how I feel about the title of this or the fact that the thumbnail, I believe the thumbnail is Carl Immers, who had a very, very freak accident during this contest trying to do a 1440, and it's a huge bummer, and he hurt his eye really bad, and there is a GoFundMe for it, which is linked in the description down below. They have raised over 21,000 videos. Where's my brain? $21,000 towards Carl Immers and his family, just as a relief fund, because he deserves it. The dude seems to be an amazing guy. I've been talking with him on Instagram a little bit, and he's got such a positive attitude even through all of this. It's It's amazing to see someone so positive in such a crappy situation after a freak accident that nobody deserves. So check out the GoFundMe. It's linked in the description down below after the stream goes live. And hopefully Carl's back on his bike soon. He's not going to give up on riding. There's no way. Can't do it. Next up, we've got one product video this week. Raphael Jeroma Williams, a Wrath frame bike build and promo from Tempered. I didn't know Tempered was still kicking around, so it's cool to see that they're doing this and hooking up people. Glad to see it. Rob DeQuattro was on Tempered at one point in time. Next up, starting the interview videos from this week, we've got a video from Colony on how to table with Jaden Fuller. Sorry about that. He had to make a super hard decision, but I think he'll be back even stronger. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be riding. Either way, though, if you want to learn how to tabletop and you want to learn it from Colony's Jaden Fuller, this is the video to check out. Then we got a bunch of talking videos to talk about this week. I did some interviews this week with some people that I was stoked to talk to. First, I talked about USA BMX Freestyle, the contest at Premises Bike Park. There it is. Premises Bike Park in Tucson, Arizona. Maybe not Tucson, but it's in Arizona. I talked with Kyle Carlson about this because if you didn't know, he went from working at Vital BMX to working at USA BMX Freestyle, has input on these contests. So we just talked about it, talked about the future, and talked about the upcoming contests around the country. If you're going to go to these, I'll be at a few of them. So I'll be looking forward to meeting people there. Next, I talked about the triple challenge jumps and whether or not they're too big with Brian Fox, the winner of that contest. Did that on Tuesday. Some like 15 bangers. That's funny. We talked about that on Tuesday after I talked with Kyle Carlson on Monday. Followed it up. This was such a good talk with him. It is Tucson. Good. Premises Bike Park in Tucson for a fourth time. This was a great conversation. Just talking about the legitimate question of whether or not those jumps were too big and the very real answer to it, in that the riders make that decision, not anybody else. We can all have opinions on it, but at the end of the day, the riders' opinions are the ones that matter. Moving on, the next day, Wednesday, I did another live with Mike Spinner talking about how to approach sponsorship within and outside of BMX. We kind of took a few different outlooks at it, and we talked about how you would approach the company that you're talking about, whether it's in BMX or outside of BMX, or the energy drink companies, or depending upon what type of rider you are, from video part rider to Instagram rider, as funny as that is to say out loud, to contest rider. Thank you guys for the kind words. I'm doing my best. And with this live stream right now, I will have done a live stream every single day this week. And last night, I didn't bring up the we'll just do it here real quick. I didn't bring up this one with Montana Ricky just now, but I did a podcast live stream thing with Montana Ricky last night, and in that, I didn't think it could get crazier. I did not think that we could get crazier than talking to Kyle Carlson, Brian Fox, Jesus, my brain, or Mike Spinner. But during the live stream with Montana Ricky last night, he FaceTimed first Rat Boy. So we had Rat Boy on for a second. Then he FaceTimed Big Daddy. Big Daddy was in there for a second. So it was a good time. I didn't think we could top what I did previously this week, but it happened, and I've done a live stream every single day this week. I'm stoked about it. So that being said, there is one other long-form podcast thing to talk about this week, and that is the Steve Crandall Unclicked podcast, which is 3 hours long, which is so good. Crandall kind of didn't get into his like event mode where he's hyped up and psyched to be there and just loving BMX, and being the Crandall that you've all seen in videos. He was chill, talking about BMX, talking about life, talking about FBM, just talking about so many different things. Cole Grove in the chat. What's up, Globber? I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. But yeah, this podcast with Crandall was so good. Crandall's a great dude, and it was awesome to hear his story, at least the story that we could get through here, because I don't think you could tell Crandall's story in 3 hours. That being said, I heard that there was a video out with Charlie and Dave Crone. Boom, there it is. Dave Crone and Charlie Crumlish S&M video. I'm pretty stoked for this one. And I will drop, what's up, Heavy Pedals BMX, aka Chuck Nagy. I will drop the link to this one in the description at the very end. And we will have that in the chat for you guys. Charlie Crumlish split edit. Boom. Okay, that being said, any questions? Anything we got to talk about in BMX that I missed? There is so much to watch this week, so much sponsorship news. And if it comes out that Mark Burnett does ride for GT, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I'll probably say I told you so. That was my tinfoil hat theory of the week. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I enjoy hanging out with everybody. And I'm bummed that a bunch of people just joined the chat and I've got to end this one, but leave comments in the comment section down below of your favorite thing from this week and whether or not you think Mark will be riding for GT, what you think about Perris being on Haro. Congratulate Dakota Bratt for riding for Kink now. And if you have any favorites from videos this week, let me know. And we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Yeah, have a good day, everybody.